Welcome back to Insert Brain here, a Simpsons podcast. I'm your host David, and with me as always is my co-host Connor.
Hello there.
Today we're going to be talking about Season 2, Episode 7, Bart vs. Thanksgiving. The original air date for that was 22nd of November 1990.
That's the one.
What was this episode about,
I'm
Connor?
so glad you've asked me, David. This episode is about the rivalry between Bart and Lisa Simpson. They are siblings in the show The Simpsons. You see, Lisa's made this really intricate diorama for the Thanksgiving dinner. This is a fast episode.
Yes.
And Bart destroys it accidentally. He's been a little bit of a brat, as he often is.
Yep.
It's Thanksgiving. Patty Selma, Marge's mother is over, and
yep.
Abe Simpson, Homer's dad, are over for Thanksgiving dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And Bart accidentally burns the centerpiece, and the family are angry at him, and he fucks off and he walks away out the house, and that's sneaks out rather.
Yes.
And he ends up walking through Springfield with his dog, Santa's little helper.
Mm-hmm.
Stumbles across Mr. Burns' house, tries to steal a pie, goes to the wrong side of the tracks after he fails to steal the pie.
Quite literally.
Yes. Meets some homeless people.
Mm-hmm.
Gets a nice meal at a homeless place. Donates some blood before that as well. And gets $12 and a cookie.
Mm-hmm.
And his family see him on the news at the homeless shelter. And then he goes home. And he has a lovely heart-to-heart with Lisa.
Yep, on the roof.
He apologises. And then he's back in good terms with his family. And that's this episode. David, what did you think of this episode?
I thought it was quick.
I thought it was really long.
Yeah,
no,
you did.
But I can't say I was excited to cover this episode. There's certain episodes of this show where we get to an episode of The Simpsons, like Treehouse of Horror, and I'm like, I cannot wait to cover this episode. I've been looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And then there's episodes like this one, where I'm ambivalent towards the episode and have no preconceived notion or real memory of having seen it before, even though I've definitely seen it.
Yeah, I have also definitely seen it, but I couldn't remember it.
Yeah, but this actually surprised me, I would say. Mm-hmm. It was surprisingly heartfelt and funny. Yeah. I think the relationship between Bart and Lisa felt very real and earned and fleshed out. The resolution at the end felt very earned. Yeah. I liked the scenes of Bart and Santa's little helper exploring Springfield on their own. Yeah. Springfield felt very varied and real, but also real from the perspective of a child.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I don't think Springfield really has Mr. Burns' house, and then train tracks, and then homeless people in a desolate side of town. Yeah. But it's through the eyes of a child.
It would look like that, wouldn't it?
Yes.
It would really... I was quite surprised by this episode as well. Like I said, I don't remember actually watching that episode before, but I definitely had seen it. But I don't really remember it as an episode existing. It's just one of those episodes. I think it just gets overshadowed a lot.
The reason that we don't have much memory of it is because it's a Thanksgiving episode. It didn't get much syndication here.
Probably not.
In the UK, where we don't celebrate Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
There's a podcast dog in the room.
Yes, yeah. She's looking away.
Hello podcast dog. Yeah.
So I was quite surprised by the episode. I thought it was pretty good actually. I quite enjoyed it.
It was funny
liked
as well.
The fact that it was funny. It was another one of those episodes that you really could just swap it out, and it could be any
we said
live
last
action
week when we did our drunk episode.
Yeah.
It could be a live action sitcom.
Yeah.
There's certain elements of this one, again, jokes and visuals that wouldn't work.
Yes.
Live action, but the general conceit of the episode.
Yeah.
Brother and sister have a fight.
I think it's fairly common, to be honest, that sort of general story.
I think something else...
Like the fact
that The Simpsons does better than those other ones is you have child characters who look like child characters. Mm-hmm. But because they're voiced by adults, they have the acting range of an adult.
Right.
So you really get the best of both worlds. Sometimes with sitcoms with this, it would be a child who looks like a child but can't act. Yeah. And it's kind of wooden and struggles to really deliver the emotion of the scene and sell that ending. Or it's like someone who's nearly 30 playing a teenager.
Yeah.
And it doesn't... you should know this already. Fuckhead. You should have learned this lesson years ago.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know what it's time for, David?
What time is it?
Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. This is Eye on Springfield, the segment of the show where I cover first appearances of the characters who made their first appearance in this episode, and I say, David, who's this? And he goes, don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And I think every time I do that theme, I catch you off guard, even though I do it at the same point in every episode.
Yes, yeah.
First appearance of the Hounds.
That would be the dogs in Mr. Burns' property.
That's right. This is the first.
3, isn't it? 3 dogs?
I think there's 3, but it's meant to be more.
Right.
This is the first instance of Release the Hounds, which is obviously a very well-known running joke in the show by now.
It's that long a running joke that I haven't actually clocked that it hasn't happened before.
Yeah.
Until now.
It was one of those points where when we were watching the episode, I was like, I think I have trivia or Eye on Springfield or whatever. That's the first instance of this joke. But I could also be wrong, and maybe we've covered this before. Maybe this is the first.
This might be the first time they're physically there and you can see them.
I'm
sure he said release the hounds.
But let's think about every appearance of Mr. Burns so far, though.
When season 1, when they're all having a sort of get together at Mr. Burns' house.
He doesn't say release the hounds. He says, now get off my property before I release my dogs or whatever. It's not. It's like almost like a precursor to the running joke, but it's not quite the exact. Wording and obviously the appearance of the hounds chasing someone right after. First appearance of KBBL Bill. Who's KBBL Bill, David?
Is he one of the homeless people?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Is he the guy doing... Who was the... No, we've seen the...
That's Ken Brockman.
That's Ken.
He's appeared before.
I was going to say.
Who's KBBL Bill? I'll give you a clue. He appears with KBBL Marty.
Oh, one of the guys doing the Thanksgiving broadcast on TV.
That's correct. That is KBBL Bill and Marty, radio hosts.
Yes. Who
are also doing a TV show here, for some reason.
Yeah.
First appearance of old Jacqueline Bouvier. Marge's
mum, yeah.
Obviously, she appeared in a season 1 episode in a flashback, but this is the first time seeing her current appearance. Very good. That's the end of Eye on Springfield.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Have we only been recording for 9 minutes?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. That's staying in. Did you have any opinions on Bill and Marty or the Hounds or Jacqueline Bouvier that you wanted to share with us?
I think Jacqueline Bouvier with laryngitis saying the 2 things that well, 3 things she said essentially, but the 2 things that she said.
Just, I can only say one thing to you, Marge, this Thanksgiving. Yeah. Everything you do is wrong.
Yeah. And then decides to proceed to say a second thing where said, I wish I hadn't come.
Yeah, and I think there's a third or a fourth thing in there as well. She actually says quite a few things in there. She says to Patty and Selma, leave me alone.
Oh, yeah, so she does.
And when Lisa offers to read the poem she's written about the experience that she's had at Thanksgiving, she says, I think that sounds quite interesting.
Right.
Bit of a chatterbox, really.
Yeah.
I wish Jacqueline Bouvier appeared more often. I think she's an underutilised character.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a difficult voice to do, maybe. It's the same actress.
Same actress that does Marge.
And Patty and Selma.
Yeah. Maybe it is a difficult voice. I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, I think I'd like to have seen that disgruntled old bat a lot more. Definitely.
I think we see more of a flash. We do see it again in future seasons, but when you compare how often she's used with how often Abe is used. Abe is a consistent character who's always showing up.
Yeah, exactly.
The hounds have a kind of an interesting design as well. When you see them from front on, and it's just like the big open mouth with like the teeth around the edge, almost looks like a Mario villain.
Yeah. I think that might be along the lines of similar from a kid's perspective, if you know what I mean. Like exaggerated a little bit.
And also it's kind of the animation style of this era.
It is.
We're still in that kind of season 1, season 2 finding your foot in era.
But I quite liked the when the dogs were running and you saw them side on and everything went into that sort of really jagged, sharp blur.
Yeah, and it's like the background is totally unrealistic. It's just shapes and colours and that's wonderful.
But it looked really good. It looked really good. There was another scene with animation sort of things that I really quite liked, which we'll come back to that, I suppose.
Well, you'll save it for our new segment.
Oh, yes.
David's one bit of animation that you actually quite liked.
Okay.
That's the segment that we do near the end. That was introduced in the last episode in A Drunken Stupor, and it's now sticking around.
Fuck it.
Every episode will feature David's one bit of animation that he actually quite liked.
Yeah.
There are later seasons where that's going to be a difficult segment for you.
It is. And I'm gonna have to try really hard to shit on an episode.
No, it's one bit of animation that you liked.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I'm saying way in the future when we're doing like season 19. And this looks like cheap Family Guy.
Oh, okay. And now I realise what you mean. Yeah. I was thinking a couple of seasons from now and I'm like, how do I pick just one?
No.
I'm struggling to shit on the episode. I'm going to have to get through that too.
But
it'll be worse when I get to the bit where I'm like,
what's one bit of animation that you actually quit? But that's not now. That's not where we are right now.
We might change that to this season.
Where we are right now, David, is... You know where we are right now?
We are...
Three blind mice. Trivia! 3 blind mice. David, what was this episode
about? We've already done this bit.
Trivia? You ready for trivia?
Trivia. I am ecstatic for trivia.
My jeez whiz. Calm down, it's not that good.
It's really not.
Especially not this episode. Writer George Meyer suggested the idea of Bart going up on the roof, as he used to do the same when he had fights with his family.
Oh, right. Nice.
Maybe he was going to commit suicide.
Fucking Jesus. I did not expect that to come out of your mouth.
I need something for this episode. I need to pad it with something.
Fucking hell.
I was actually thinking of that. You know that bit in Home Alone? I was thinking of this earlier on today. Where Kevin has run upstairs and ziplined across to the treehouse.
Yeah.
And Harry and Marv come up and they can't see him, and Marv looks out the window and goes, maybe he committed suicide.
Oh, fucking Jesus. I forgot that was in there.
I don't know how they snuck it past, but that's one of my favourite jokes in the movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a good joke.
You can find out more about that in our other podcast. This is my podcast, and I have to defend it. A Home Alone podcast.
Fucking hell.
We cover all
things.
6 Home Alone movies, the Home Alone video games, the board games. There's
board games?
Yep. We even covered the dog-specific Home Alone spin-off and the Home Alone Lego set.
Oh my god. I didn't even know there was a Home Alone Lego set.
There is. It's the house.
Just the house.
With Macaulay Culkin's character, Kevin.
Right.
And
well,
Marv
at least it's his
Harry
character, not the fucking dog version.
Bone Alone?
Yeah. God.
Let me tell you this, I bone Alone every fucking night, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, we got a podcast. It's a given.
While watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade on TV, Bart doesn't recognise the balloon characters of Bullwinkle and Underdog. Homer chides him, "Don't you know anything?" Bart replies, "It wouldn't hurt him to use some cartoons made in the last 50 years. Just then, a Bart Simpson balloon appears on the TV screen.
Yes.
This episode aired on US Thanksgiving Day 1990, when a Bart Simpson balloon actually did appear in the parade for the first time.
All right, nice.
That's what that joke is.
Right.
It's a new segment I'm doing. It's called Explain the Joke. Alright, explain the joke.
Is it? Is that what you do?
That's what I do.
All right.
Sometimes I'm going to throw it to you. Unprompted.
Really?
You're going to have to explain the joke.
Really? Okay. I will not get any of that.
Nope.
None of it.
The music Bart sings when bringing the turkey to the table is the 20th Century Fox opening. I didn't clock that.
I did not clock
That's
that.
That's a classic bit of Three Blind Mice trivia. Yeah. Maybe it's not true.
Maybe it wasn't even in the episode.
And I'm not going back to check.
Who cares?
I'll check when I'm editing, and if it's not, put a big fucking wrong-o right here. big old wrong.
Are you doing that with any of the previous episodes that we've done? Like, the first entire season worth of potentially wrong facts?
No. That's only something that I'm doing going forward. Good. That's a new thing.
Good.
Last episode and this one. I didn't have to do it last episode because I was right.
Very good. You probably don't have to do it this episode so far because I was right.
Right about what? What were you right about?
You don't remember, but it's in there. Check it. When you're doing the editing, you need to check some about shit.
Dangling your cock in the toilet bowl.
No, that was you.
That's not how history will remember it, my friend.
That would be a lot of work for you, but I'd love to see you edit it so that I end up saying something.
I've got a lot of recordings of your voice.
Oh, I know.
I can get an AI. I can train an AI to.
That's a good point. You can
replicate your voice. And say,
wait a minute. So I don't even need to be here.
No, I need someone to bounce off.
All right, good. What the fuck? You right there?
No,
good.
Lisa's poem opening with the line, "I saw the best males of my generation destroyed," is a direct reference to the poem Howl by Allen Ginsberg, which opens, "I saw the best minds of my generation destroyed by madness." By madness.
Yeah.
By madness. Starving, hysterical, naked. Ginsberg was said to be pleasantly amused by the reference.
Really?
Yes.
Fair enough.
What's your favourite Allen Ginsberg poem, David?
I'm glad you didn't even tell me the title of that one, so I have no idea.
Do we have a favourite?
No.
Couldn't pick.
No.
You love them all the same.
That's exactly right.
My favourite's
like my own kids.
My favourite's this one.
I don't have.
Yeah. My favourite's this one. That's referenced in this episode.
Is it?
Yep.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Mm-hmm. When Bart is discovered attempting to steal a pie from a windowsill, classic cartoon trope, by the way.
Yeah.
You ever cooled a pie in a windowsill?
No, I don't think anyone's ever cooled a pie in a windowsill. You're just going to end up with it covered in flies.
Yeah, you get bugs in it. And
yeah.
The
neighbourhood fucking cat will be eating it.
If you put anything on the windowsill here in Scotland, it's mouldy.
It'll end up.
It gets mould in it instantly.
Oh, yeah. It'll the windowsill and the pie will get mould on it. Also, you're most likely just going to end up with a bird shitting on it. Either a seagull fucking off with it or some other shit.
What was it saying?
Something about a pie.
When Bart is discovered attempting to steal the pie from the windowsill, one of the guards at Burns' mansion is reading Les Miserables. We mentioned that when we watched the episode and then didn't bring it up in this episode.
Yep.
Why would we?
Have time.
In which the main character is imprisoned for stealing a loaf of bread after breaking a window. Yep. I would know that if I'd seen Les Mis, which I haven't, and I won't.
Yeah, fair.
I had no fucking interest in watching that movie.
That's fair. I've got it, actually.
We'll have to watch it when we get to it.
Yeah.
In our Hugh Jackman podcast, Huge Jacked Man. A Hugh Jackman podcast. We're doing the whole career of Hugh Jackman.
Oh, fucking hell. There's going to be some pretty terrible movies in there, but some really, really good ones.
14 X-Men movies.
Oh, man.
Kate and Leopold. The whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. All 15 of the movies that Hugh Jackman has been in. Kate and Leopold.
That was, what's that fucking Australia one?
The Best Showman.
The Greatest Showman. He was in that.
The Greatest Showman in Sydney, Australia.
No. Fucking hell.
The Greatest Showman to ever come out of Melbourne.
Was it him that was in Water for Elephants or something?
No, that's Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, I thought it might have been.
You can find out more about that in our Robert Pattinson podcast. Robert Pat, my son.
Fucking hell.
What was I saying?
We need to calm down with these podcasts.
Gotta put me to work. Gotta make the bread.
Hey.
Gotta make the bread, put it next to the window, have it be stolen by Hugh Jackman.
Yes.
Dan Castellaneta's voice for one of the homeless men is an imitation of Bill Murray. I mentioned that.
Yeah.
I don't think I mentioned the Bill Murray, but I mentioned it was Dan Castellaneta. You yawning during 3 Blind Mice trivia?
I am.
The most exciting...
It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
The most exciting the trivia bit of a podcast this side of the River Clyde?
Yes. Yes, I am.
My God. Mr. Burns lives on the corner of... I said this was big trivia.
Yeah.
I said when we watched the episode, I went, prepare yourself, this is big fucking trivia. This is the biggest trivia of this episode. In fact, I'm going to... You know what? I'm not saying it.
Okay.
I'm going to push it to the end of trivia. I'm not trying to...
Do something with us.
I'm getting a whole bunch of yeps and no reallys. What can I say?
Yeah, I know.
This is the second appearance of Jacqueline Bouvier and first appearance of her in her usual design as an old woman.
Yeah, I think we
mentioned that
covered
in
this
Iron
earlier.
Springfield.
Yeah.
Her name is taken from Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, wife of President John F. Kennedy.
There we go.
Who was assassinated.
Yes, he was.
Breaking news.
Yeah, in case anyone didn't know.
President John F. Kennedy has been shot on the grassy knoll. Or from the grassy knoll, I don't know.
I don't know. Some shit. I think he was in a car, wasn't he?
Yes.
Aye. There we go. That's about as much as I care about
Detective
American
David is on the case. Who killed John F. Kennedy? Well, I think when he got shot, he was in a car or something.
He might have been. I'm pretty sure that's actually mostly because of a Bo Burnham joke in a song. Is the only reason I remembered he was in a car.
The Family Guy joke. It's President Hamburger.
Oh, right,
and he gets shot and everybody runs in and eats his hamburger head.
I forgot about that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
We should be doing a Family Guy podcast. That's real comedy.
No, it is not.
2 of the football players are named Kogan and Wolodarski. Jay Kogan and Wallace Wolodarski are producers and writers on the series who often work together.
Oh,
We've mentioned Wallace Wolodarski before.
We have. I think he was like the main writer in one of the episodes.
He's written more episodes of The Simpsons than any other person. That's why he was brought up.
That was it.
So my voice
vaguely remembered something about him.
Good job. We're getting there. We're growing.
I'm almost what one might call someone familiar with The Simpsons.
Let's not push the boat out, pal.
No, probably not.
Our listeners would disagree.
I would say so.
Well-known TV journalist Jerry Dunphy was the inspiration for Kent Brockman.
All right.
I feel like my voice sounds strange right now. Like it's coming out kind of...
Hoarse.
Yeah. One of the women Lisa puts in her centerpiece is Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, who, like Lisa says, worked most of her life to save the Florida Everglades from being sold and developed. She passed away in 1998. David, how old do you think she was? Marjorie Stoneman Douglas passed away in 1998. How old do you think she was? Ballpark, if you had to hazard a guess.
Let's go with 88.
You're not far off.
Really?
108.
Oh.
You were
only
exactly
20 years
20 years
off.
off. You got the 8 part, and that's what counts.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
They chose to do a Thanksgiving episode because the first season aired on Sundays. And the episode would originally have aired on Thanksgiving.
Right. Fair enough.
I don't care. The show wasn't allowed to show Bullwinkle J. Moose as Fox's legal team was worried they would be sued.
Uh-huh.
Maggie avoiding certain death. Remember when she was climbing up the stairs?
Mm-hmm.
That's a reference to a shot on the Tracy Ullman show where she sticks a fork in a plug socket and enjoys the feeling. What?
We need to watch some of these shorts.
That's what it says here. Maggie sticks a fork in a plug socket and enjoys the feeling.
We definitely need to watch some of these shorts.
Wow. Yeah, we need to cover some of those shorts because that is bizarre.
I don't remember anything about that. I did not watch that much of the Tracy Ullman shows. I didn't really see all that many of them.
I've never watched the Tracy Ullman show, but I've seen some of the shorts. The Simpsons.
I had seen a couple of the shorts, I think, on like YouTube and stuff. After the fact, years after, obviously.
Yeah, aye.
But no, I definitely haven't seen that one.
Okay, big trivia.
Yep.
You ready for big trivia, David? Are you excited for big trivia?
I just yawned. I'm perfectly ready for this.
Mr. Burns lives on the corner of Croesus.
Okay.
Mr. Burns lives on the corner of Croesus and...
You know what? That was actually a really good imitation of her.
Mr. Burns lives on the corner of Croesus and Mammon, two symbols of wealth. Croesus was the last king of Lydia.
All right. I did not know any about that.
Ancient land of western Anatolia, and reigned from 560 to 460.
Try that whole run again, I think.
I'll just go from and reigned.
Right.
And reigned from 560 to 546 BC. He was well known for his great wealth.
Very good. Very good.
While Mammon is derived from the classic Hebrew word for personal wealth and came to be used as postulated god of greed in medieval literature. For example, someone committing the sin of greed would be worshipping Mammon instead of the Lord. I've heard that before. Worshipping Mammon. Wow, that was good trivia.
That was.
That is genuinely interesting trivia. If we were two smarter men, we could have a whole conversation about that.
We could.
That's the end of Three Blind Mice Trivia. Interesting trivia.
Very good. Very good.
Fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
David, do you have any... What a fucking bad episode.
Yeah.
This is of our podcast.
Oh, yes.
Do you have anything for... Boy, I sure hope someone got fired for that blunder.
I spotted one thing, which was when there was a particular shot once the turkey was on the table, and I think Bart and Lisa had buggered off at that point, being sent away.
Yeah.
And it was a sort of wide shot of everyone at the table still, and you could see the turkey sitting there. The body of the turkey being brown at this point.
Oh, yeah.
The drumstick / turkey leg that was sticking out was all bone colour. So grey.
Yeah, the entire thing, even the meat was
white.
grey.
Yeah, the meat on it, everything. And there was no line or anything.
Well, we noticed that
sort of jagged
it was kind
line
of a weird colour to begin with as well.
It was,
Marge is gutting it at the start of the episode.
The raw turkey was quite a weird colour instead of like a pale pink or something. They went with a off grey.
Yeah.
That's a weird one.
Strange stuff in general.
But to be fair, I haven't seen that many raw turkeys myself, so I usually just see them once they're cooked.
Yeah, I've seen. You ever seen a raw turkey in a supermarket?
I've seen a few, but they're usually wrapped.
That's true.
Yeah, so
I'm not
orange or blue or whatever fucking colour, depending on what size of turkey it is.
For the plastic.
Yeah.
You can find out more about that on our poultry podcast. It's way better than the pun I was gonna make. I was gonna be like, Poltergeist 3, The Other Dimension, or whatever the fuck Poltergeist 3 is called.
Oh, right. There we go.
You know, like Poltergeist 2?
Yeah.
But poultry, because it's a bird.
That's the one.
But I think your title, what was it again? That's a much better title for a podcast. You can do the intros on that one every episode.
I'll do it. I will do that. Oh, I kind of only a little bit actually want to make one now.
That's a one-off podcast. That's right. Neither of us know anything about
poultry or birds or anything.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't have any animation that I was going to suggest, really.
Okay.
I think there was one instance of like a weird front-facing character, but I can't even remember where that was now.
No.
I do remember it was in the episode, but I can't remember where it was, so I guess...
Can't remember. I think we can probably just leave it as just a one. It wasn't bad animation overall for that episode. It was pretty decent. I didn't think I spotted any terrible backgrounds or anything like that.
No.
The one few times they did some decent stuff, that was... with the backgrounds, it was purposefully and artfully put like that. So
it wasn't
a mistake.
Yes,
it was intentional.
Yes.
Okay, what are we on,
David?
Yep.
What's your one bit of animation that you actually quite liked?
My one bit of animation I actually quite liked this episode was...
Is this podcast just segments now?
It basically, at this point, this episode is...
We're just rushing through it.
Yep.
Quick episodes.
Oh, very, very. It'll be a short one.
Saved in editing.
Maybe. So, the one bit of animation I actually quite liked was where Bart sort of gets back after having the turkey dinner out and about, and then he gets back to the house, sort of puts his hand on the door and is about to be like, should I actually go in? Let me just sort of picture what it would be like.
I had a feeling you were going to say this.
And so he imagines it, they're all happy and everything, and then it gets turned right on its head there, and then everyone's being mean and, being aggressive towards him and everything.
Yeah. Sort
of laughing at him and ridiculing him. And everyone gets like steadily taller and sort of
like blown out of proportion. It's the proportion of a little boy looking up at things.
And everything gets skewed in proportion, so you see down the hallway to the door.
Yeah.
And everything, and that's like
the fingers like pointing at Bart, and they're like
a mouse hole door with a hobbit-sized round hole through the door.
Aye.
It's really it's quite interesting. I quite liked that one. I quite liked that.
I thought you were going to say that was your one bit of animation that you actually quite liked.
Yeah, it was that or the dogs thing, but I think because of the fact that the dogs was brief.
I liked I didn't have a segment where I said the one bit of animation that I quite liked, but if I was going to throw my hat in the ring for a second piece of animation that I actually quite liked, the camera panning from him walking past Mr. Burns' house and across the train tracks to the bad side of town is incredible.
Yes, Yes, it is. That is really good.
In smooth motion, it's really something.
Yeah. No, that is really good. I think what kind of detracted me from that, and not in a bad way, but more along the lines of thinking about it as like an animation form or anything like that, or a piece of animation that I would be thinking about like that.
Yeah.
Was the fact that it in itself was the joke as well about being the wrong
pun?
Side of the track. Yeah. And then obviously Bart says it. And
does he say it?
Yeah, he says, "Oh look, I'm on the wrong side of the tracks."
I don't remember him saying it. I remember him.
No, he definitely says it. He definitely says he's on the wrong side of the tracks.
Fact check that, and if David's wrong, put in a big
We've
AI
never
voice.
fact checked before.
We fact checked in the last episode. If you listen to this podcast, you would know that.
Yeah, I haven't actually listened to the last episode yet.
Oh, if David's wrong, put in a big AI voice that goes wrong-o, And if there's a video element to this podcast, at some point there'll be a big stamp that comes down on the person who's wrong's face.
Yes.
It says wrong. That's not an editing effect either.
It will be a real stamp getting smacked in the fucking face.
Like that. Wrong. Straight in your forehead.
I was picturing a stamp that would smack like
across your chest? No.
And in front of the mic in my chest and fucking broken chin.
You were thinking giant as in like 15 feet wide. I'm thinking like just on the forehead.
Right.
It's like in Inglourious Bastards where they carved the swastika into the Nazis' foreheads.
Right, yeah.
Except it's you were wrong in a podcast.
Yes.
Which is almost as bad as being a Nazi.
Yeah.
David.
Yeah.
Final thoughts on this quick episode.
Was nice and quick. I
think it captured the family dynamic really well.
I think so. I also like the really the sort of moment where Homer and Marge were sort of cleaning their teeth and stuff, and then Homer was spying out the bathroom window up on, like, listening in on Bart and Lisa on the roof right at the very end.
Yeah, all right, yes.
I really quite like that, and I liked even the little detail of 1990. There was no one anywhere that didn't have a fluffy cushion or fluffy toilet cover. There was no one, basically, not in the UK anyway, that didn't have one of them on their fucking toilet seat.
Aye.
That was just everywhere.
I remember it was
quite like the inclusion of that.
It was quite the thing when it was basically talked about how much germs those things would trap and how disgusting they are.
Yes. That's why toilets never usually come with them.
Yeah, even like wooden toilets don't really exist anymore. It's
wooden toilet seats are.
I've always been a fan of a wooden toilet seat. I'll be honest with you.
I like a good wooden toilet seat. They're a little less cold to sit on.
I'm glad in this very quick short episode.
Yeah, we've
sidetracked into talking about the best toilet seats. What's the worst toilet seat? You ever sat in a metal toilet seat?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely hell.
Yes. That is something else.
It's like you can... What's that thing when you get lumps on your arse? You know what I mean?
Is that hemorrhoids?
It's like you can feel the hemorrhoids just coming in the second you sit on that toilet, you know?
Yeah. I think it definitely rivals the 2mm cheap fucking flimsy plastic.
Well, where you sit on it, and no matter how thin you are,
it doesn't matter how heavy or how thin or how fucking anything you are, your ass will be on the porcelain at some point.
It will bend. The plastic will bend and warp.
And your ass will... You'll feel something. Some part of you touch the porcelain, and there's nothing worse.
There's nothing worse than when you're a man and you sit in the toilet and your cock hangs in and it touches the inside of the toilet bowl. This is what this podcast is now.
Yes, because you can't scrub hard, but you want to scrub hard.
Yes, you're talking about the flesh of a cock.
Yeah, to get rid of that shit, because it's...
Thank God for foreskins, that's all I can say.
Yeah,
which is the name of our genital hygiene podcast. Thank God for foreskins.
There's nothing worse than being at a fucking services or something.
Oh God, I don't think I've ever had to use a bathroom at services. I think I've avoided it.
Yeah, I'm a lorry driver, so I do.
Yeah, I will. I feel like I had more to say in this episode. I have a piece of bad animation for Boy Shorts Haven't Got Fired for that blunder.
What?
Oh God, it just came to me. Kent Brockman's face when he's in the van and he's side on and he's talking to the homeless guys about winning an Emmy is disgusting, and it's not Kent Brockman's face.
Yes,
it's all smoothed out and angular, and it's it looks like a Picasso.
Yes,
and that's an insult.
He's all nose and nothing else, really, isn't he?
And he's got like, his eyes like a big round circle. There's no and no detailing to the skin. It's very strange and unusual, and that's not even like a Bart perspective thing because he's in the shot.
He's not on his own at that point or anything like that either.
No,
none of that shit.
He's with the two homeless people.
He's calm and standing with them.
I will say that's something else that I did like about this episode, though, is its depiction of the homeless population of Springfield.
Yeah. Welcoming, fairly friendly.
Just down on their luck people who are unfortunate and downtrodden and don't get the help that they really need. Yeah.
Except twice a year where they get thrown a bone.
Once in November and once in December.
Yeah.
Aye.
That's apparently it.
Like the food kitchen in Springfield.
Yeah.
Where when the homeless guy is leaving on the 15th of November, which I think is Thanksgiving. 14th or 15th or something.
Something like that. We're not American.
He says, "Thanks, I'll see you at Christmas," which is obviously the 25th of December.
Yeah.
I know that one.
Yeah.
But it's, I think if anything, it does a better job than some future episodes do.
Definitely.
Because the only two officially homeless characters that I can think of, there's the character that George Carlin plays, who's only in like one episode really.
Yeah.
And then there's the crazy cat lady, who's like your...
Oh, yeah.
That's your usual go-to homeless woman.
Yeah.
Homeless person character in this show. I can't think of another recurring character who's officially homeless the majority of the time.
I don't think so. You would be able to remember this normally better than me, so...
Nothing springs to mind. There's characters who are portrayed as being temporarily homeless in certain episodes.
Yeah.
But
not permanent.
Yeah, where it's like a defining character trait.
Yeah. Well...
Overall, a really good episode, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe even overlooked. I don't know how popular this episode is in America.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an American and you're listening to this, and most of our audience is American.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like more than 90%.
No, I think most of our audience
uses a VPN.
Are either using VPNs or are foreigners in America. Because there's no way...
There's not that many Scottish people in America.
No, I don't think... I don't think there's that many Scottish people that be listening to this anyway.
True. Aye.
But surely there's... Well, either that or maybe there's a bunch of them that are sitting there, a bunch of Americans sitting there going, well, I'm part Scottish.
Oh,
so,
Christ. We've already ragged people as well.
This, so let's
wrap it up.
Let's not go there.
But I thought this was a really good episode. If you're an American and you're listening to this, what I was going to say was, let us know if this episode is popular in America, because we don't really know. If you can actually let us know directly on our website, insertbrainhere.podcastpage.io, where you can submit a written review to get in touch with us, or you can submit a voice clip. And if you do that, we'll play it on the podcast.
We will more than happily sit there and listen to abuse. So it
doesn't matter what you say or how long it is. It will be played on this podcast. That is a guarantee.
Can we just...
That is a guarantee.
Can we just put a little clause in there?
What's that?
No matter what you say, fine. No matter how long it is, fine. But if we get like 700 of these...
Never going to happen. If we get 700 of these, mate...
We'll just end the whole lot. We'll introduce it and
if we
we'll
get 700 of these, we'll just do entire episodes where we do special episodes where we sit and we listen to people's messages.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, why not? All right.
Who's that at the door? It's the podcast fairy. Says it's time to wrap it up.
So, this was Insert Brain Here, a Simpsons podcast. I was your host, David. With me, as always, my co-host, Connor.
That was me.
Yeah.
It was once upon a time.
Hollow now. This T for 22 production.
What episode did we just talk about?
We didn't do that the last time.
Yes,
we were pissed.
We did.
We really?
I edited it, yeah.
Alright, you did. Fair
enough.
No,
you did, and I know because I edited the episode.
Right.
Bart versus Thanksgiving, that's all you have to do.
Okay. This was Bart. We were talking about Bart versus Thanksgiving, Season 2, Episode 7.
Yes, and we'll be back next week
for
Season 2, Episode 8.
Yes. Whatever one that one is.
Yep. You can follow us on Instagram at InsertBrainHerePod or on Twitter at T422. I mentioned the website, insertbrainhere.podcastpage.io. We're also on YouTube, Spotify, and all places that all major and minor podcasts are available.
Mm-hmm. Smell you later.
Smell you later.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Quick episode. In and out. Quickie. Call that podcast a premature ejaculation. Goodbye.